Hey, YouTube. Sorry for the odd silence at the beginning. Just waiting for people to file in. Hello! How are we doing? Now we do have people filing in. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday night. What is going on in that profile picture? Well, I guess we're gonna see.
Yep.
Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
26 here, California.
Your name is California?
Oh, okay. This Spark, that works.
Spark. Cool. You a Christian, Spark?
Yeah.
Well, Bible is stinky. Thoughts?
It's better than the alternative being pushed, which is basically atheistic communism.
How is that like the alternative to the Bible?
Well, when you go communist, which is inherently atheist, you would, one, deny the dignity of man
no,
to
I'm just,
rule
I'm,
himself.
that's not, you're answering something that I didn't ask.
Well,
So
you gotta
like,
wait for the sentence to complete.
well, no, it's just, you're clearly not answering the question that I
No.
actually asked you, which is, how is atheistic communism the alternative to the Bible?
So, how are you gonna ask me and cut me off?
Well, it's just, there's literally an infinite number of alternatives to the Bible, so I feel like you're trying to specifically like strawman me by saying that I'm pushing atheistic communism, which I'm very obviously not.
Are you in support of it? Do you think communism's better than
I'm not a
the Bible?
communist.
What are you, a democratic socialist?
Sure, you can say that. But
Is that because communism
but
is
you ask-
illegal as a party?
But hold on, but you ask if communism is better than the Bible. The Bible is a book of religious beliefs, and communism is a political system. So why
And
are
you
you
won't
asking
let
me
me
things that
explain
are
the
in two completely
connection.
different categories? You're asking me to compare apples to oranges.
Why won't you let me explain to you how it is apples to apples?
Is the Bible a political system?
Bruh, it's not just about that.
Is the Bible a political system?
So you're not gonna, you cut me off when you ask me the question.
Are you going to answer my question? Is the Bible a political system?
No, but I know you won't be good faith.
Is communism?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool, so it's not apples to apples.
They're both worldviews, and you don't understand the gravity of communism.
Okay, well, saying my favorite band is Ninja Sex Party is also a worldview, so
So
it doesn't
can I
fucking matter,
explain
we're
to
just
you-
throwing out worldviews.
So can I explain to you how they are apples to apples, or are you
I
going to
think we
strategically
just
cut me
showed how
off?
they weren't.
Okay, you're going to strategically cut me off.
You can whine about it if you'd like. Whining about the meta
What
is
if-
like a classic in the playbook for
So-
guys like you.
So, 1798, the president of Yale said this is a ploy to destroy Western society.
That's so great,
So
I don't give a fuck.
But your chat might. The president of Yale, everybody, said this.
If you're just gonna be a crybaby, I'm not gonna let you use my platform to try to shout whatever you want from some soapbox, so fuck off, actually. Hey everybody! Welcome in, we're just getting started. Hey Lucas, can I get your age and pronouns?
Yeah, I'm 34 and I'm a cat.
Interesting,
Meow.
that's not a pronoun.
Yeah, it is. Why not?
No, cat would be a noun.
Really? But if I say I'm a cat, why can't I just be a
Well,
cat?
I'm would be a pronoun, but cat is a noun, not a pronoun. Do we need to go over some like basic grammar
Well,
for you real quick? We
sure-
can.
sure.
So, a noun is a person, place, or thing. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. You
But
didn't watch
surely-
Schoolhouse Rock when you were
surely
younger?
Surely we can make anything we want. We're in the world today that, like, you decide that you want to come up with whatever nonsense is a thing,
Well, that's a great distraction from the fact that you just don't know what pronouns are. Can you tell me what a pronoun is?
Sure. I am, you are, they.
No,
them.
like, define pronoun for me.
Like the Oxford Dictionary.
So a pronoun is the Oxford Dictionary?
No, the way you want me to explain to you, like from a dictionary, is what I'm asking you.
Sure, just give me an operational definition.
Like ginger minge.
You're so funny.
I just gave you the explanation you wanted. So
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm also sure that your mother loves you, and it's obvious in the way that you speak to someone you perceive as a woman.
I'm not even sure you are, to be fair. Like, I think you
Correct.
could be a boy. You could be
No,
a boy.
I'm non-binary
You could be
actually. So
trans. I think you
you're
could be
I am,
trans. Yeah.
but
So
I'm not a trans
I don't
woman.
see you.
I use they
I
them
don't.
pronouns.
I don't see you as a female. To me,
Thank
you're a man.
you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet of you to say. A lot of people come in here and do assume that I'm a woman. So I'm glad you're not one of them. Anyway,
Why
thank
do-
you for telling me your Pornhub
I
search
wanted to
history,
come
but
and
you can get
talk
out of
about-
here now. Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Well, my name is Lore, and I'm 30, and I'm he.
All right, Lore. So, you a Christian?
Yeah, I lean towards Christianity.
Okay, you're very quiet and muffled. Is your microphone covered?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you very faintly.
Very faintly. You can't hear me now?
Oh, now you're louder.
All right. So yeah, I'm a Christian. I lean towards Christianity.
You lean toward Christianity. All right. So the Bible is stinky. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a common opinion. It's a common opinion, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for your insight.
Why should we accept your opinion?
Sure. I mean, I can back it up with the fact that the Bible is full of contradictions, inaccuracies, and atrocities.
All right. So why should we think that contradictions are an issue?
Why should contradictions be an issue? Because if it's claiming to be the inspired word of a god, there shouldn't be direct contradictions.
Well, what's the claim for that? Because there's human beings recounting experience, and they're not infallible. They're finite, and they are fallible. They're capable of making mistakes. So why should we believe your claim?
I understand that, but if it's supposed to be the word of God, then it should not have mistakes in it.
Based on what? Why shouldn't there be mistakes? Like if God came to me and gave me a revelation. So if God came to me and gave me a revelation, and I recited it, and I'm a fallible being, who's to say I can't make mistakes? And
so God is capable of coming to you and giving you a revelation, but not capable of helping you recount it accurately?
So it sounds like you're saying that God should make it where I recount it perfectly, right?
Yeah, if it's supposed to be the inspired word of God, then there shouldn't be errors in it, because if this is truly supposed to be like a guidebook on how to get into heaven, intentionally leaving errors in it is intentionally leading people astray, right? Because people like me who look at those contradictions and say, okay, well, this is bullshit, well, that's a soul that's lost to hell simply because God deliberately left mistakes in there.
So who said it was a guidebook to get to heaven? Who said that?
Most Christians I talk to.
All right. So
And the Bible.
Where in the Bible does it say that? Give me book, chapter, verse.
Sure. So no one comes to the Father except through me. That's a quote from Jesus. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, so that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Or in Romans, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Just a couple of instances where the Bible claims that it's like the guidebook to get to heaven.
Yeah, a bunch of speak fast, but you're not saying exactly. You're not answering my question. You didn't say.
I'm sorry. I just gave you multiple verses where the Bible claims to be guiding you to how to get to heaven. Because you're not listening to me. You're listening to respond, not to actually take in what I'm saying.
So where does it say this is how you get to heaven? Can you give
Yeah,
me
the verses I just told you. But unfortunately, you weren't listening because you were waiting to just condescend to me.
No, but you're not giving me the verse that says this is how you get to heaven. You have to do this.
Yeah, so saying if you proclaim with your mouth Jesus is God and believe in your heart God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. That's not telling you how to be saved.
Saved from what? Saved from what?
From damnation. That is what the text is talking about at that moment.
What damnation?
From the damnation that's mentioned in the New Testament specifically, the burning lake of fire and eternal torment, as described in the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. Do you really think I haven't read this shit?
So please.
Men always try to come up and condescend to me and then get so upset when I interrupt them for saying bullshit. Yep, I'm gonna mute you actually because you're annoying as fuck. And I'm sick as hell of men trying to condescend and talk over me thinking I don't know my shit. So do you have something useful to say, or would you like to leave? I'll allow you to make the decision yourself.
So do you understand that I'm a preterist? You know what a preterist is?
You answered my question. Thank you. Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, Roxanne, and I'm 28, and she, her.
All right, Roxanne, are you a Christian?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Well, the Bible is stinky. What are your thoughts?
I agree.
So you're a Christian and you think the Bible's stinky?
Yeah, and what he was saying about a word in the Bible, does it say that the
Hey,
word of
engineer.
God is the guide to heaven? It literally says in John 15:7.
It says it in a lot of different places.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I agree that
It's just interesting. If you think the Bible is stinky, why do you follow it?
well, I go to church and I follow, I mean, I guess, helping your neighbor and treating people kindly and all that, but I mean, it's just
Well, that's not necessarily Christianity, right? That's just being a kind and moral person.
right. I mean, it's just being a decent human being to begin with, so.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Christianity. Nothing you just said. I mean, going to church, you can go to a secular or atheist service on Sundays. They have those.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, I guess I would be considered a Christian
Why?
because, I mean, of how I live my life. Like, and my belief that, I mean, I do believe in God, so.
But do you believe in Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't like the Bible, where do you get your information about Jesus?
From the Bible. I mean, it's.
But if you don't trust the Bible, why are you getting information from the Bible?
Well, I mean, to learn, because you come across, people who quote the Bible to cause harm to others. So I guess I kind of want to be versed to counteract that in a way.
But do you actually believe in it?
To a certain extent, yeah. Yeah, I do.
It's just interesting because if you say something is stinky, usually that means that you don't think it's good or. Hey, everyone in comments, guest has said she, her pronouns and that she is over 18. So can we cool it with that? Yeah, it's just if you think that the book is stinky, you think that people are using it for harm, and you don't even know if you really believe in it, why are you following it?
I don't know. It's hard to explain, but that's just how but I do agree that there's some stuff in there that is used to oppress and go after the women, especially, is what I've seen right now. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. So.
All right. Well, thanks for coming up.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye.
How we doing tonight, everybody? Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns, please?
Name Paul, age 42, pronoun male.
Male would actually be an adjective.
So no pronouns here.
Well, yeah, pronouns, they're gonna be the words like, he, she, they.
He.
Gotcha, Paul.
Yeah.
Quick guess, you're a Christian?
Yes.
All right. Well, the Bible is stinky. What do you think about that?
No, it's not.
Oh, fuck, I didn't
Stinky
consider
to those
that.
who believe it is. No?
Well, yeah, everything is only stinky to those who think it is.
Yeah, based on what you.
Yeah, but it's different because it's something
So
that
is a
people
dictionary.
form their entire
so is a diary.
worldview about. Why is a dictionary stinky?
It's your perspective. If you choose to see it stinky, it will be.
Right, but I say the
Right?
Bible's
It's
stinky
based on
because it's
perspective.
right. Excuse me, but I say the Bible's stinky because it's full of contradictions, inaccuracies, and atrocities. I would say that the dictionary is not full of contradictions, inaccuracies, or
So in my
atrocities.
memoir or my diary, if I write contradictions, isn't it stinky?
Yeah, if you're trying to say that it is the inspired word of God and is infallible and you should base your worldview around it and
No,
there
no,
are
let me
contradictions
ask
and
you a question.
inaccuracies in it, then yes,
If
it would
I
be
write in
stinky.
my diary that stinky stuff, right? And I choose for it to be stinky, it will be stinky, right? If I see no contradiction in it, it's not going to be contradictory or
Uh,
stinky. It's a
it's
perspective
not,
issue
no, it's
here.
not about whether or not you see contradictions, right? Because some things are just blatantly contradictory. If you present both P and not P, then you are presenting a contradiction. It doesn't matter if you think it's not a contradiction. If I say that my hair is red and my hair is not red, that is a contradiction.
Let me ask you a question, huh? And
Okay,
this is the
sure.
basis
Why
of
why
you calling
respond to
it
what I actually
stinky.
said? Go ahead.
Is atheism a chosen way of life? Do you choose to be an atheist?
Do I choose to be a what?
Is it a choice? An atheist?
A nuffist? I'm
An
gonna
atheist?
an
Is it a choice?
atheist. No.
Yeah. So how do you live a life that's not your choice?
Well, it's based on like belief. I'm not convinced that a god is real. I can't choose whether or not I'm convinced of the existence of a god. So
So what do you
that's
choose?
what do I
For you to call
choose?
the Bible stinky. Yeah, what is your choice?
I choose what I eat for breakfast in the morning. I choose what shirt to wear, like my Pride is a Riot shirt. I choose to have a boyfriend who's really hot. Those are things that I choose.
So like I'm talking in terms of belief systems or whatnot.
Yeah, once again,
You can't lecture
you
me
can't choose
on
to
my
believe in a
beliefs and my
god.
Bible, and you have no chosen way of life. A poor man, a poor man cannot advise the rich, right? You
Yeah,
can't speak
so
on
here's the
my
thing. You're
beliefs.
assuming you're the
You
rich
can't speak
man
on my
here.
beliefs and you have no belief.
Yeah,
So
I'm an
what do you have?
atheist. That doesn't mean I can't
By
criticize the harm
choice?
of Christianity. Not by choice, because
By
once
choice?
again, hey, I'm sorry. Are you
Is it
gonna
by
keep
choice?
interrupting
Yes or
me?
no?
Are you gonna keep trying to talk over me?
But then answer.
I I
Is it a
was
choice?
answering. Okay, every time I start to answer you, you just repeat your question over me. I said it was not by a choice. Atheism is a lack of belief in a god or gods. I cannot choose whether or not I'm convinced of the existence of a god. Therefore, whether or not
So
one
how can you
believes in God,
advise?
excuse me, Paul. So whether or not someone
Answer.
believes that. Okay, have a good evening. Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Sapphire. My age is 31, and pronouns is he him. My actual name is not Sapphire, but
That's
whatever.
fine, whatever you want to be called. So, Sapphire, are you a Christian?
I am a Christian.
Okay. Hey, Schley! Everyone, Schley just passed some very important exams. Our very own Schley is now Schley, comma RN. So can we get some congrats in chat for Schley real quick? Just since we're here. So just some congrats headed towards Schley. So yeah, Sapphire, you're a Christian. The Bible's stinky.
I would agree with you that there's some stinky parts in there. I would agree with that.
But isn't it supposed to be like the word of God that you're supposed to use as like a moral guidebook throughout your life? Isn't it kind of a problem if there's some stink in it?
No, it's not a problem if it's stinking. I would actually say it's actually adds to more of the reality that there's stink in it. Because if I was to try to prove to you something that I made up, I would try to make it look perfect. I would try to make it look pristine and golden. But actually, these are recollections of real events that happened, and unfortunately, there's some stink in it.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different, right? Because we're trying to say that this is the inspired word of God, not that you are just trying to recall some event that happened. But you would think that if God would be aware that these the recounting of these events would be used in the Bible. so to allow it to be imperfect in a way that can cause people to doubt it and not want to accept the message of the Bible, to me seems like deliberately setting people up to fail. Also, you say, that it would look slightly imperfect. It's not just slight imperfections. There are direct contradictions. There are scientific inaccuracies. There are plenty of historical inaccuracies. These are things that should not be present in the text if it is the inspired word of a deity.
Okay, I assume you have some?
Yeah, I have lots. So would you like to start with contradictions, inaccuracies, or atrocities?
So atrocities are not, of course, atrocities are icky. There's a lot of things that we can say
When God
with our
commits them.
emotions. They're icky.
Yeah, if God commits them, it's a little bit different, right? I'm not just talking about where people do bad things. I'm talking about where God either commands people to do bad things or does bad things himself.
Okay. I don't know. Whatever you want to choose, it's up to you.
Sure, let's start with that. We'll start with one of the atrocities. So you're familiar with the story of David and Bathsheba?
Yep.
What was the punishment that David received for what he did to...
I've heard this argument before.
Okay, what were the punishments? There was 2, technically.
I've heard that there was none.
Well, they were framed as punishments for David, but they didn't actually happen to David himself.
You mean like lineage-wise?
No. I mean, like, God killed David and Bathsheba's baby, like, made it sick for a week and then die, and then God had David's concubines raped by his son in front of a bunch of people in broad daylight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So just like, the baby didn't do anything wrong. The baby just happened to be born. And that was enough for God to decide that it needed to suffer and die. And then the concubines, or some translations just says wives, they had no part in the act, but they had no agency in this decision to punish David by having them raped. So God punishes a bunch of other people for something that David did. And the reason that it was David's wives that were used as like pawns in this weird punishment is because women were seen as like the property of the man they belonged to, right? So this was basically humiliating David by violating property rights.
Okay.
Yeah, they're completely stripped of agency.
I've heard this argument, and so wasn't a concubine like a servant? Like you, basically, this was your life. I need to actually look it up.
I mean, we can get into the ethics of like them having concubines in the first place, but I don't think that's super relevant. The main point is that God had these women raped by David's son as punishment for David.
Okay. I mean, I guess I can agree with you, at least on this point. Because, I mean, I would like to kind of dive into it and really study it. We can go along that together and find out why. Because I never, when I'm restudying the Bible, I never go, oh, that's horrible. I'm gonna stop being a Christian. I always ask, okay, why does it say that? Why?
Yeah, I mean,
It
people
seems
always
on
try to
face
like
value-
come up with excuses for things that God does that
No,
are
no, no,
horrible.
no. Not excuses.
That is
I
what
wanna find out why.
happens. I just
Do you
told you
know
why.
why?
It was punishment for David. Because
Why
it was
did
seen
God
as a
choose-
property crime.
Okay. Why did God choose that means of doing that? Why?
Again, to humiliate David. Because he said that
That
since
doesn't answer the question.
well, since David sent Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, away to die at war, and
Yep.
laid with Bathsheba in secret, God says, "Well, you did that in secret. I'm gonna bring up trouble against your house. They're gonna lay with Absalom in front of all of Israel." So it was directly to kind of mirror the taking of another man's property. That's
Okay.
how it's portrayed in the text.
So what is a concubine exactly?
Yeah, so kind of considered like a sexual servant. Some translations refer to it as a wife, but I think most would conclude it's not like a proper marriage because they were basically just kept as sexual servants. Doesn't mean that they deserve to be raped, though, by anyone.
And is it by? It wasn't by somebody that she. Okay.
It was, well, there was multiple, and it was by their stepson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, times were different.
Okay, well, that's moral relativism. If God is all perfect, it wouldn't have been like, oh, well, it was okay to have women raped by their stepson back then, but not anymore. It's not really how morality works if it's supposed to be perfect.
Again, haven't reached the full why, so I need to really look deeper into that. Unless you're willing to, like, because I have my laptop here, I can look it up.
Yeah, so it's 2 Samuel 12 is where this punishment is first described. It's carried out in 2 Samuel 16. But here's the thing, Sapphire. You're going to look into this and you're going to try to find ways to justify it. It's explicitly the rape of women, like 10 women. It is explicitly stated as a punishment for David for sleeping with Bathsheba and the fact that David sent her husband off to die. There's no circumstances where rape as a punishment is justifiable.
Yeah. I wonder what's happening here.
I've told you what's happening.
There's gotta be, like...
Women in the Bible are not given agency. They are treated as property consistently. They are seen as second-class citizens that belong to the man that owns them. We can see this in many of the Levitical laws. We can see it in Exodus and Deuteronomy. We see just countless examples of women being treated as property. Because
does that happen nowadays?
Women being treated as property? Absolutely.
Like in the way that they had it back then?
I would say it's not as common as it was back then, but I don't really see what that has to do with
so
it.
It's getting less common?
Yeah, it's just, again, we're talking about the fact that God made this happen.
Right.
So if God did this thing, it doesn't really matter whether or not other people throughout history have done it or continue to do it. That doesn't have any bearing over whether or not it's a good or bad thing. But I would argue that Christian beliefs made this a practice for much longer because marital rape wasn't outlawed until like the 90s. Because in the Bible it says that wives are to submit to their husbands. There's many passages that people interpret to mean that that includes like sexually submitting to them under any circumstances. So it was believed by many, primarily Christians, that rape wasn't possible within marriage because the wife's body belonged to the husband. So I would argue that Christianity...
And vice versa. Are you aware of that?
That's not what the Bible says.
It does say that.
It does not say that a husband has to submit to his wife. It
No,
says to love your wife.
Hold on. It says that the wife's body belongs to the husband. But also, in the same way, the husband's body belongs to the wife.
Which verse is that? I must be misremembering.
Oh, I'll have to look it up. I don't know. It does go both ways when it comes to sexual relations in the marriage. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
How long were you a Christian?
17 years.
Okay.
Just to my knowledge, it doesn't say that. It explicitly only says that the husband is the one who has that sort of power over the wife. Thank you for the likes, guys. Holy shit, we're almost at 10k likes already. Much appreciate.
And did you stop being a Christian because of the things that you're seeing in the Bible, or did you stop becoming a Christian because of things that happened in your church and because of the people?
It was me being taught apologetics constantly and being like, this doesn't really make sense to me. Like, yeah, there were bitches in my church, but there were bitches in my church always, right? Nothing particular happened that made me, like, oh, I don't believe in God now because fucking Bailey said my hair is ugly. Like that shit didn't happen. That's just something Christians love to believe is true of every atheist because it's easier to believe than having to think about the fact that some people just come to the realization that this stuff isn't true.
Okay. What do you believe now, if you don't mind? I mean, I guess this is more of like a Christian thing, but I'm just asking what you believe now and how
Yeah,
it stacks
I'm
up
an
against the
agnostic
Bible.
atheist.
Okay, where do you get your morals?
Subjectively, just like Christians.
I meant you. You. Like,
Yeah,
where do you get your
subjectively,
morals?
just like Christians do.
Just like Christians. So we're both equally valid?
I mean, I can make an argument for certain moral claims that I can like back up with evidence. I don't know if I necessarily say equally valid because I can say, hey, grape as a punishment is wrong, and Christians would not be able to say that because their God orders grape as a punishment, so they would have to be saying that their God did something wrong, so they couldn't say that grape as a punishment is bad.
I mean, I could easily throw out treat others as the way you would want to be treated.
Yeah, that's not
Jesus
that's not specific
teach
to
it.
Christianity though. That appeared in the writings of like Confucius. That appeared in many other writings other than
Okay, that's
Christianity.
great, but it does say that in Christianity. Won't you agree?
Okay, but again, if it's not unique to Christianity, then why should I have to depend on Christianity for it? Did you find that verse, by the way?
No, I don't have Wi-Fi on my laptop, so I'm trying to find it on the app, the Bible app that I have on here. I'm trying to search it up here. So,
But also, would you
um,
say that like having someone graped as a punishment is treating someone the way you want to be treated?
I'm sorry,
Do
one
you,
more time.
do you think that having someone graped as a punishment is treating someone the way that they want to be treated?
No, I mean, didn't what's his name? Didn't David treat somebody a certain way and then get treated a certain way?
Yeah, but again, it's the women who were raped that really suffered the punishment, right? So David's punishment was the humiliation of having his wives raped, whereas the wives bore the actual punishment of being raped.
Okay.
Just like, do you think that God would
Yeah.
want someone to rape his wives?
No.
So then he didn't
But
treat David the way he wanted to be treated.
but I mean, this is crazy, but wouldn't you think that like I'd rather be alive than I don't know. It's kind of a weird trade-off. You know what I'm saying? Like I
No,
would much
because
rather be
God could have just struck David dead if he wanted to. Why grape the
yeah.
wives? Why did they have to have any part in the punishment?
Do you know where this is located?
This is in 2 Samuel 12.
2 Samuel. Okay, I'm gonna go there right now.
Okay.
2 Samuel 12. Let's dive into this because this is. I mean, I'm tired of debating from memory.
That's what I'm doing.
I know.
You can start reading where it says, like, I'll raise up trouble against you. The sword will never depart from your house. Just from that part. If you wouldn't mind.
Nathan and David are speaking.
Nathan and David speaking. That's kind of earlier in the chapter. It's a little bit. I'll look up the precise. I don't remember what verse in the chapter it starts on.
Solomon is born. Rabbah is captured.
So starting in verse 10. Now therefore, I'm sorry, this is NRSV. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house, for you have despised me and taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus says the Lord, I will raise up trouble against you from within your own house. I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. For you did it secretly,
Whoa.
but I will do this thing before all Israel and in broad daylight.
Right. Let me read my version. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken thy wife of the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this sun.
All right, now if you would turn to chapter 16, and you can read starting in verse, let's go with 20.
Wouldn't you agree that even you being against Christianity, that you agree that God created evil? I'm not saying that,
Well, I don't think God
but
is
wouldn't you agree
real.
that God created evil?
If God were real, he would have had to, but he's not real, so I don't believe he did.
But I know that's a talking point that people against Christianity use. They say God
Okay.
created evil. So
That's not really what we're talking about right now, though.
I know, but
if we could turn to chapter 16 for me real quick.
I'm not finished here. So
Okay.
it says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee. Well, whenever we talk about evil in the Bible, we talk about calamity. We talk about disaster. We talk about things that are not pleasant.
Sapphire, he says, I will take your wives and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with them. God is explicitly taking
evil.
ownership for the action of giving those women over to be raped.
He allows evil to happen.
It's not just allowing. He is taking credit for giving them over. He says, I will take your wives and I will give them to your neighbor.
I will raise up evil against you.
Keep reading. I will take your wives.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will take your wives. Evil will take your wives.
Evil to happen.
That's not what it says. It doesn't say I will allow evil to take your wives. It says I will take your wives and give them to your neighbor.
Do you believe in free will?
Can we not pivot right now? Can we
I'm
stay
not pivoting.
on? You are.
I'm on topic, I promise.
You are not. I know exactly what argument you're trying to make, and it is not on topic.
What's the argument that I'm trying to make?
You're going to try to talk about like the existence of free will under a Christian paradigm and how God may have foreknowledge of things, but that's not the same thing as causation.
That has nothing to do with this argument. I'm sticking to this argument.
You're not sticking to this argument.
Yeah.
Because if you're sticking to this argument, you would be intellectually honest and admit that God says he is going to cause this to happen, that he is the one directly putting these circumstances in motion.
Okay. So whenever it says that I will give them to your neighbor, does that mean that God picked them up and then literally gave them to their neighbor?
It means he is causing the circumstances in which they are inevitably going to be raped.
Oh, he caused the circumstances. That's not what it says here, though.
Cause.
That's not what it says here.
He says, I am going to do this thing, and then he makes that thing happen. That is causing it.
That's not what it says here.
Sapphire, remember how I told you that you were going to try to find a way to twist what the words actually say to justify rape? Can you listen to what you're saying right now? How you're having to twist the words of the passage rather than reading what they actually say. You're having to come up with some secondary meaning of words to try to justify the fact that these women were slept with against their will by their stepson.
I'm not twisting anything. You said something that does not say. I'm literally staring at the verse right now.
If I say I'm going to take a piece of candy from the bowl, does that mean that some intangible force is actually going to take the candy from the bowl? Or does that mean that me, the one who says I'm going to do something, is performing the action?
That means they're going to take the candy from the bowl.
So if God says, I will take your wives and give them to your neighbor, and he will lie with them, does that mean that some intangible force is going to cause them to be raped? Or does that mean I am going to cause them to be raped?
Right, I'm going to pick them up and take them over there and then cause them...
I'm not saying they're literally picked up like Barbie dolls. He is putting them in the situation to be raped, deliberately.
Uh-huh.
That is not just. It is a punishment for David.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
It sounds like a horrible punishment.
Hey.
It is a horrible punishment.
Sapphire, I was just going to ask a quick question.
Oh, here we go. What's up?
Yeah, hey, do you know the difference between us...
Have we spoken before?
I don't think so.
Engineer has a lot of conversations. It's very possible.
Yeah. So, do you know the difference between assent and consent?
Are you talking about consent?
Right. Well, I'm talking about the difference between assent and consent. There's a difference there. Do you know the difference?
No, I'm confused on how this is relevant.
Well, you can
Okay.
have assent without consent.
Right. So assent is acquiescing to some kind of situation, right? So the argument that you're making is this idea that God was acquiescing to the fact that these people were going to grape David's concubines and wives, right? And but the fact that Robot Goat is bringing up here is the fact that God was consenting in this, like he consented in the fact that his wives and concubines would be raped. So I'm just that's why I was trying to ask if you understood the difference between assent or acquiescence and consent, and it seems like you don't.
What is okay? Go ahead if you're gonna teach me something. Go ahead.
Right. Acquiescence is allowing something to happen regardless of your personal opinion because you can't stop it from happening. Now, do you think that God couldn't stop the rape of David's wives?
Do I think he couldn't?
Right. Like in this
Are you saying that
situation, like
is this an argument of
he's
like
informing
if he
David of
could
what's going
have,
to
why
happen.
didn't he?
No,
Well,
he's informing like in your argument, he's informing David of what's going to happen, right?
Mhm.
And that implies that he can't stop what's going to happen. He's just informing David like, hey, these people are going to come in and rape your concubines and wives, and it's an implication that he can't stop it from happening. Do you think that he can stop it from happening?
No, because he's causing it to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, he's causing it to happen. Do you think that? Do you believe that God is omnibenevolent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the omnibenevolence in causing grape to happen to women? Is that really all that good?
Well, I will have to say that we do know that this is not outside of God's, but what we know God to do.
Okay, hold on.
I'll pivot
pause
just a
real
little
quick.
bit, and then I'll bring it back to this, and you
Hold
guys
on,
can tell me a little bit
Sapphire.
more.
I want to pause real quick, and I want to juxtapose this. Robot Goat, is there ever any situation that would require raping women in order to apply justice or to hand out any kind of punishment?
Nope.
There you go. See? Easy. Less than a second. Easily answered. But you've got a but. You've got a but there. Like the but totally undermines anything that you could say.
The problem here is that I would obviously not allow this today. I would not allow this to happen.
So you're more moral
but
than
I'm-
your God, right?
That's a relativist
I'm not God.
claim.
Right.
I am not God.
You're more moral than your omnibenevolent God. Is that correct?
Oh no. Oh no, I'm not.
So you think it's less
No.
moral to, so hold on. So you think it's I'll rephrase. So it's more moral to allow grape as punishment than to not allow grape as punishment?
No.
Then you would be more moral
my
than
wife
God.
just laughed her ass off over there next to me.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I'm gonna try to be patient with this. So, what are some ways that we know that God has punished people? We know
Does
that
this matter? I'm sorry, but does this
Okay,
matter? Like if our
I
subjective
let you finish.
morality.
Can I finish?
Hold on, Sapphire. If
I
our
let you finish.
subjective
Can I
morality
say
says that
something?
there's no reasonable
That's
reason
okay.
for subjecting women or anybody, not just women, anybody to grape like is bad. Like this beyond the pale. Like there's no reason at all whatsoever to like be like, oh well, you're sentenced to one grape. Like there's never an instance where that is the sentence, right? If we can understand that, why can't your God?
I don't know. I was on a point and I was trying to say something, but you interrupted me.
Did you listen
Well,
to anything that he just said?
I did. He's trying to make accusations toward God, and it's fine.
Well, it's not really accusations. We kind of presented the evidence that he did something bad. You agree that he did something that was not moral, but you're trying to justify it by comparing it to other times where he's also been really shitty to people. That, if anything, just establishes a pattern of abusive behavior. That's not an argument for omnibenevolence. It's an argument for the opposite.
So, okay, if somebody, it's hard. It is one of those harder ones.
It's really not, though. This
you
is
stop
not a hard
interrupting me?
question.
I would really appreciate if you would
Robot
stop
Goat.
interrupting.
No, Robot Goat answered it like in less than a second.
Okay, how about you talk to Robot then?
Right,
Okay.
I did talk to Robot Goat.
I mean, I'm trying to say some things here, but you're
trying to do rape apologetics. That's what you're trying to do.
I'm not. You're trying to interrupt.
How are you
Sapphire,
not?
it may not be what you're trying to do, but it is what you're doing. And that's why I bring up to you, hey, take a step back and think of it from an outside perspective. You are trying to rationalize grape being used as a punishment against women. That on its face is grape apologetics.
Do you think that I
add
would
on
do
top of
that?
that, hold on, Sapphire.
I don't think that
to
you
add
would
on-
do that, Sapphire. I think you are probably a good and moral person, and the fact that the morals of your God so directly conflicts with your personal morals should be something that causes you to reconsider your moral framework. Not that it should favor God's more, but
I'm not God. If I put okay, can I just say this? If I put God away and I completely throw away Christianity, that would mean that I am my own God. I have my own. Yes, it does. Who's my God? Who's
you
my
don't have
God?
to have a God.
Nobody has to be your God. God damn.
You don't have to have
Even
a God,
even you
Sapphire.
just saying that gee darn that you just said just there.
It's a figure of speech, Sapphire. It doesn't mean that he literally believes in any sort of God. You don't have to have a God. You really don't. The fact that you are able to make a better moral decision than the God in your book, that right there shows you don't need a God.
You know where I get my morals from?
You think you get it from your God, but I would say you actually get it from yourself, because the morals of your God are it's okay to grape women as punishment. Your morals are it's not okay to grape women as punishment. So you can't get them from God because it conflicts with God's.
Do you know where I actively get my morals from? Actively?
Where?
From the Bible.
Where this is depicted, Sapphire. Where this is directly depicted. So again, you disagree with these morals. That's not where you get your morals from if you disagree with them.
I don't personally do this.
That doesn't matter. It's whether or not you think it's moral. If God thinks it's moral and you don't, your morals conflict with what is in the Bible. But that's a good thing, Sapphire. I understand that it's scary, because when you're having to reconsider your entire worldview, it can feel like everything is crashing down around you. But if anything, you should be encouraged by the fact that you hold a higher moral standard than the one you've been taught is the one you should believe.
So, Sapphire, I don't mean to pile on top of you, but in this particular situation with David and his concubines and wives, the concubines part is like problematic in and of itself. But in this particular situation, what we have is people that are being punished for things that were not their fault. They're being punished for things that David did. So David did something, and then other people are punished for it. Like,
that sounds
for instance,
familiar.
Right, Sapphire, if you were being punished for somebody else's wrongs, do you think that that would be just?
No. No.
Okay. Then why is it okay in this situation?
Because
I don't think you believe it is okay, if I'm being honest, Sapphire. I don't think you believe it is okay, and I think you're having to come up with reasons why it could be okay, but I don't think you actually believe them.
Why was Uriah punished? Sorry,
Uriah?
not Uriah. Yeah, why was Uriah punished? And why
Uh,
was
Sorry,
Bathsheba
I
punished?
don't remember Uriah right now.
that's
It's like,
Bathsheba's husband, the one that David had killed.
oh
So
yeah.
Why was Uriah punished?
Well, he
yeah,
wasn't
it was
punished.
unjust. It was an unjust punishment. He was sent
Well,
off to die
And
simply
why do you
because
think that's okay?
I don't think
I
that's
don't. I
that,
just
that's
said
not
it was
like a punishment,
unjust.
though, is it?
I
Like
I just said it
David,
was unjust. I don't think it's
right.
okay.
David sent him off to be killed so that he could sleep with Bathsheba. Like, that's not a punishment. That's like a malicious act, right? Like, I'm not wrong in that, correct?
No, you're not.
Right. So that's not an act by God. Like, God is judging David for his actions
Oh,
against
but David
Uriah.
was considered a man after God's own heart.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? Like, he's
hold up.
a man after God's own heart, but then he sends a guy off to die just so that he can sleep with his wife and everything. And then, obviously God punishes David, but he doesn't actually punish David. He kills David's kid, right? And then he has his wives raped. Graped. How is this justice in any kind of way? I'm still not understanding.
It does not say that he unalives his kid.
It
It
does.
That he's
does.
not
It's
very sick.
no. It says that the Lord struck the child that David had bore the
Yeah,
Bathsheba, and the
Uriah,
child became
and
very
it was
ill.
very sick.
Right, and then on the seventh day of being sick, it died.
Right. The only reason why the
Oh
kid
yeah, and the
was
son of
sick
David's
was
child had
because of
died. Okay,
God.
okay. And the servants of David feared to tell him the child was dead, for they said, "Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he was not hearken unto our voice." And yep. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm just
Right.
reading. I don't want to take anything that you say for gospel.
And hey, that's a good thing. That's something that we encourage here. That you should look into it. You should examine your beliefs as critically as possible.
Yeah, but with different filters in your eyes.
Different
Well,
filters.
I used to read this Bible and be like, okay, well, David shouldn't have done that then. Like I mean, I'm not like encouraging grape, obviously, but I'm like if you don't want bad things to happen to you, maybe you shouldn't do bad things. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
encouraging grape.
I'm not
yeah.
encouraging
this
Well,
grape.
hold
situation,
on.
that's
Hold on.
encouraging
I'm gonna
grape.
stop you there, Sapphire. To whom did the bad things happen?
Uriah, then Bathsheba, then they went to
Then the kid,
David's
and then the
concubines,
wives. So
and then his
what
kids.
wrong did the
Oh, I
kid and the
guess that is true too,
concubines
huh?
what wrong did the kid and the concubines do? Because you said if you don't want bad things to happen, don't do bad things. What bad things did the kid and the concubines do?
They were David's concubines.
Okay, they're sexual servants. They don't have a choice in that. And what did the
They
kid
actually
do
did have
wrong?
a choice in that.
No,
They had a
they were
choice of being
s-
Yes, they
concubines.
did.
they were slaves
sometimes-
essentially. They don't have a choice in that.
But they signed up for it.
They signed up for it.
Yes,
to be
they signed up for it.
slaves.
Look in the what a concubine actually is. Look it up.
So you think you think that David saying, "Hey, I want these concubines," and the concubines not having any kind of say in it is them choosing to do it? This is fucked up right now. Like, I don't understand what's happening.
Are you looking it up?
Sapphire. Couple things. What did the kid do wrong?
The kid didn't do anything wrong that we know of.
Okay. So it's not actually about whether or not you do bad things, because you said don't do bad things if you don't want bad things to happen to you. The kid didn't do anything bad. So it's not actually don't do bad things. That's not the message of the story, because the kid was punished without doing any bad thing. The concubines had no part in the action for which David is being punished. Sorry, there's dogs.
Okay, well, what
really loud
about
outside.
moments in the Bible where, like, what about things where, like, okay, I'm gonna get you and your entire family. So why would you come after my family when I was just the issue
Yeah,
begin
that's
with.
That's the
also
question
wrong.
we're asking.
We would say that's also not good because we don't believe in other people being punished for someone's actions.
Okay. Well, but I see that we're not going to come to a agreement on
It's
this.
crazy to me that
Okay,
we
it is
can't
crazy that it
Hold on.
happened.
Hold on,
I'll
Sapphire.
agree
It's
with
crazy
that.
to me that we can't come to an agreement that nobody deserves rape for things that they didn't do.
Okay.
Right? Rape.
I
Sorry.
agree
I'm
with
so
that.
sorry. Rape.
I agree with that.
No, you don't, though.
I
Because you're
do.
running cover for God in this situation because he orchestrated rape as a punishment for things that people didn't do.
Again, I don't think you really
What did
believe
Uriah
that.
do?
What happened to
Uriah
Uriah was
fought in the
also
battle.
wrong. It was also wrong what happened to Uriah. We're not trying to defend that either. But it doesn't mean that random
Okay.
women who had nothing to do with it deserve to be raped. Sapphire, I don't think you actually believe some of the things that you're saying. I think you're trying to come up with a defense for God because the idea of having any sort of criticism for God is too scary to you. And while I understand that, having been in that position in the past, it's not sustainable because you can't hold the
say-
belief that God is omnibenevolent, but also that he does all of these immoral, unjust
Yeah.
things.
Unlike you, though, I'm not gonna fold. The Bible
It's
says
not
whoever
folding.
endures to the end, whoever endures to the end will be blessed. So
Well,
I'm not
sure,
gonna
the
fold.
Bible has a lot of stuff in there for the people who already believe it, saying, well, if you don't believe this, then you're wrong, and you're silly, and you're stupid, and you're a fool. Well, yeah, if I was going to write a handbook to try to make people believe a certain thing that I say, I would probably put in there that anyone who disagrees with the handbook is dumb. That doesn't make it more true,
Well,
right?
yeah, the Bible says that he who says in his heart there is no God is a
Yeah.
fool. That's
Precisely.
true.
No,
I
it's
can prove you there's a God right now.
okay. Do it.
Okay. Do you believe that the universe was eternal or infinite, or did
Eternal.
it have a beginning? Okay.
So there
that
goes
would
the
mean that there
kalam.
is an infinite.
Uh-oh.
So that means there's an infinite number of things. Where are we in the point of eternity?
It would depend on where we establish an
eternity
arbitrary
just
starting
ended
point.
right now.
So
Eternity just ended right now.
hold on, just to head
Eternity
this
just
off
ended
at
right
the
now.
pass.
It
Just to
just
head
ended
this
right
off
now.
at the pass. Hold on, just to head this off at the pass, regardless of whether or not we have like an infinite regress into the past or not, we're currently at our current position in time, right?
Yeah, which means it's the end.
It's
No.
the end.
Because it
Yes.
continues.
But you can't transverse infinity.
But
It's
this
not
is
possible.
a moment. This is a moment after when you just said eternity ended. So therefore, eternity didn't end because we're still able to observe time past the point that you said it ended.
Yeah. If I tell somebody to count down from infinity, and that they reach zero, that proves that they didn't start from infinity.
Yeah, you're arbitrarily
But-
establishing a zero.
Yeah,
There's not
I
an
don't
actual
understand
zero. We don't believe
I
there's a
don't
real
understand.
zero.
So, do you believe in potential infinities or actual infinities?
This is completely unrelated.
So, if there's an actual infinity, if we have an actual infinity, that means there would be entropy, whatever it's like, where it expands, everything expands, and everything just becomes too cluttered. It's like I have a messy room. Think about it.
Sapphire, you don't
And
understand the
over
argument you're
time-
trying to make.
Just listen. I have a messy room, and
I'm
over in
not. I'm not
time-
inclined to because you don't. You very clearly don't understand what entropy means.
Right.
Entropy means expansion,
Well,
basically.
I also
No,
wanna
it
point
means
out-
disorder.
Right. I also want to point out that your infinity argument here, like as far as an infinite regress or whatnot, would preclude us from being at any particular point. So, like, there's a paradox in this. Like, if you're saying that if there's an infinite regress, then there's no way we would reach our current point in time, then we wouldn't be able to reach any certain point in time. But we know that we're at this particular point in time, so we're obviously able to get to this point. So that's where the paradox.
Which means there's no beginning. Which means there's no. We can't get to this point if infinity was a thing. We can't be here.
Sapphire, you really need to read up on this argument, and I think you need to form your thoughts around
I
it
already
better before you
have,
bring it to debate.
Which is why I'm giving you the argument.
No, your argument is incoherent and it's clearly understudied. I would recommend maybe sharpening it a little bit before you
Okay.
bring it to a debate next time.
Well, hold on. So my room. Let me just finish this. My room being cluttered, right? I was trying to get there earlier, but you just didn't let me. My room was cluttered, but let's take that over an infinite number of years. Now my room's completely. There's nowhere to move. I can't move my arms. I literally can't do anything. That's exactly what it would be like if the universe was infinite. There would be an infinite number of things, and
if the universe is infinite, there would be
would
room
not
for an
be
infinite
order,
number
it
of
would be
things. Your
chaos.
room would be a closed system that would have a finite amount of space. If we're assuming that the universe has an infinite amount of space, it would be impossible for it to become full, even if there are infinite objects.
Yeah, but that
How
doesn't
does this
that
apply to
doesn't stack
God, by the
up.
way? I'm just kind
It
of
doesn't.
curious.
That's why I'm once
That
again
doesn't stack
suggesting that
up.
Sapphire maybe brush up this argument a little bit.
Infinite space also means infinite things, which means it's infinite things is filled up with infinite space is filled up with infinite things.
Yeah, but the
It doesn't
the
make
size of
sense.
infinities can be relative.
Relative to what?
Each other.
What?
None of this justifies raping women.
As soon as you have a quantity, in any way, shape, or form, that's not infinity.
There is an infinite number of numbers between 0 and 1. There's a larger infinite amount of numbers between 0 and 2.
Okay, I've heard this. This is stupid. That's
Okay.
not
Then dismantle it.
There's
I'm
only
sorry,
one number.
I'm sorry, but the person that was making
From 0 to
excuses
1.
for grape earlier is like, oh, this is a
I
stupid
don't want to hear a
argument.
god list. I'm kind of done with you, bro.
Oh,
So
okay.
Okay,
it
if you're
starts
done with John, then you're free to leave.
we're having an actual good conversation.
No, you're being mean to my friend, so you're dismissed.
Well,
You can remove yourself or I can remove you, but this conversation's done if you're
he's
going to be
saying
rude to my
my
friend.
arguments are not valuable enough because I was trying to defend the Bible.
No, we were critiquing your arguments because they're poorly structured and they're poorly researched. It kind of seems like you just maybe
Am I
watched a
wrong?
video about this and then tried to re-paraphrase it later. I've been trying to be very gentle and understanding with you, Sapphire, but now you're becoming purposefully obstinate, and so it seems like we're not going to get anywhere in this conversation. So once again, you're free to go. You can remove yourself or I can remove you.
Okay, well, if I'm getting kicked out, fine. You guys have a good day.
Have a good one.
Damn.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, no, thank you for letting me up. That was interesting.
Yeah, that ended in a more depressing place than I'd hoped. It felt like for a second there we were kind of getting through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the switch to infinities and what happens before and everything. I don't understand why they switched to that, but it's whatever.
Just trying to prove the existence of God. That is partially my fault because Sapphire was like, I can prove God right now. So I was like, okay, do it.
Yeah,
and then,
I mean, I did enter mid conversation where it was talking about grape apologetics and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was just like it was very.
Oh, Dr.
gross.
Joe, hey, welcome in. Sorry, I haven't seen you commenting earlier. Yeah, it was not great. You're welcome to stay up on sidecar if you want to. I do have a couple other people in requests, but I'm not going to hold you hostage here.
Yeah, yeah, I can stay up.
Sweet. All right, let's bring up next. We have Philip Patterson, 85. Hey, Philip,
Hi.
you go by Philip or Phil?
Either one. Philip is good.
All right. How old are you?
51.
All righty. And what pronouns should we use for you?
He, him is fine.
Sweet. You a Christian?
Well, I was born a Christian, but I don't believe in the Bible. There's certain things I just believe morally. I actually believe in reincarnation, but I believe, do unto others as you would have them. To me, that's just the golden rule, the moral rule. And, you reap, I believe in karma, actually. You you reap what you sow. I actually do believe very strongly in that.
Gotcha. What made you want to request up if you don't necessarily believe in the
Well,
Bible?
no, I'm curious. I mean, I've had a lot of friends who, are atheist, and I've ever since I was very young, I've tried. It's like what the ancient Greek philosophers, I figured, they want to answer the deepest questions of what is love, what is life,
Baby, don't
and I was
hurt
just
me. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no, it's good. Well, that's what I mean. I feel as humans, some of the deepest questions are hard. It's like I don't know if this is off topic to you, but how would you define love? Because I feel like maybe collectively we're all part of God and we have love, but what would you think love is, like in your mind?
I would say that love is having a sort of close, intimate relationship with another person.
Right.
Could be romantic, could be sexual.
Right.
It
Sure.
varies. Oh,
Sure.
no worries, engineer. It was good having you up. You have a good one.
I've always wondered, without God, because I've heard the argument made, where do morals come from? Or you could also, I guess, say, where does love come from? Like if we sometimes behaved, I guess, especially animals, I've seen instances where they're very protective of each other, and then other instances where they're not protective. I mean, usually the mother animal is very protective, but some human beings are, some human beings aren't. But I feel that love in us, I don't know, I just feel it has to come from somewhere. I don't believe it just came from, the atoms of the Big Bang and then we're here billions of years later. I feel like love is indescribable. Like I don't think any of us really know what love really is.
I think it's more complicated than that. I mean, to go at it from a scientific perspective, there are certain traits that we did evolve for the good of our species, and that's not necessarily say that like evolution has intent. That's not true. But it is advantageous to us to form bonds with other people. We are a very social species, and
Sure.
to feel love for whether it's like friends or family members or a romantic partner, there are observable chemical reactions associated with feeling love for another person. Now, that's not to say that it's all some kind of like mirage because it's just chemicals in our brain. You can go at it from like a deterministic standpoint and say that like, well, everything about us is biologically determined. I'm still figuring out where I stand on that personally. But I think it's actually pretty beautiful that from something without intention, we can observe things like love, like compassion, like empathy.
Right.
They were advantageous to us. That's why we started to develop them. But we get to choose to employ them.
Right.
We get to choose having friends, having loved ones, having partners. That's something that we enjoy ourselves.
Sure. I mean, do you feel that love comes from chemicals, let's say maybe in the brain, or like is it just hard to know at all, maybe?
Yeah, so I would say that it does originate in the brain, because I would say if we didn't have a brain, we wouldn't be able to love someone. You know?
But I mean, do you, I guess I'm curious. I mean, do you know, have you read up on exactly what part of the brain you would say love, or what chemical, or what part of the brain?
You're quizzing me on stuff in classes that I took
Sorry,
ages
I don't mean
ago.
to, I'm not.
No, it's cool. I took
probably-
neurobiology. I should remember this. I can tell you like some of the neurotransmitter. Like I could tell you what chemicals we observe. Like we observe the release of oxytocin, particularly when there's like physical contact.
Right.
So that would be one of them. I forget where specifically in the brain it is.
Right.
You're gonna get my degree revoked. They're gonna take it back. They're gonna say, no, this is ours. Keep your debt.
See, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I have a hard time for myself understanding, human nature. To, like if someone were to say, a scientist, a biologist, whatever, that love comes from this certain chemical. I just feel it's so much more complex than that, or part of the brain.
I would say it's less that like it comes from the chemical itself. It's more that the release of that chemical is associated with love.
Right.
Because when
so maybe
you
it becomes, Okay.
when you like meet someone for the first time and you don't yet like love them, you're not necessarily going to have that same chemical
Right.
reaction. You're not going to have that
Right.
same biological reaction. As when later down the line, if you do see a person that you love and you interact with a person that you love, you would see that chemical reaction. So it's less that the love is caused by the chemicals, it's more that the chemicals is caused by the love.
Okay. It's funny. You probably think it would be silly then that whole expression "love at first sight." That seems
Yeah,
silly.
I think maybe lust at first sight, but I don't know. I feel like
Right.
love is a deeper
Sure.
connection than that. I think you need to get to know a person a little bit better before you can say that you love
True.
them at first sight.
I
Now, maybe there can be love at first interaction if you just immediately feel a connection with someone and feel that you align with them and you care deeply for them during your first interaction, sure. But if you just see someone on the street and you're like, I'm gonna marry them, I don't know if that's
right.
love, you know?
Right. Right. Well, I've questioned myself if love is God, perhaps. That we don't
I don't,
know
what,
really what love is, and that perhaps that's like another word for God. It's mysterious. We
I
don't quite
don't,
understand it.
that kind of defines God into a strange place, though, because I don't think you would say that love is any sort of like moral agent, right?
Um, well, I guess love can be part of morals, right? I
No,
mean,
no, no.
part of it.
What I'm asking is the concept of love itself a moral agent? Is it a being?
Oh, I see. As in God. Well, well, we see that's the thing about love that's so fascinating, maybe I guess to all of us mysterious, is that we can't put our hands on it. I guess it's not physical, right? Like a physical being. Although we say we love we
Well,
love other
when I say
humans, but
being, I mean some sort of well, I keep using the word being, but I mean a being with like agency, a mind, some
right,
sort of moral agent. Because there are things that can be like conceptual, and that doesn't make them
mhm,
God. Because if you have a definition of God where God doesn't have a mind, isn't an agent, isn't a being, I would argue that's not really a
right.
god.
Well, some people, you've probably heard this many times, and I've heard it many times in my lifetime. Sometimes people describe God as energy or an energy, like they
Yeah.
say God's an energy, like it's a force, like lightning is a force.
Right, but again, that's not a super useful definition of God to me because I do believe the lightning exists, but I don't believe
Right.
that God exists. Lightning
Oh, one.
energy is not a being. It doesn't have a will or a mind.
Okay. Well, one one person, I forget his name because you probably know him. I was watching on YouTube different arguments, for God, against God. And one guy was saying, I wish I remember his name because I would imagine that you know who I'm talking about. But I could even send you the video if you'd like or something. But
Was it
um,
a guy with a beard and a bunch of books behind him? Was
uh,
it was it a twink about my
I should send
age?
you the
I'm
video.
sorry.
I would love to send you the video. I would love to
Okay.
because no, it's really fascinating because it's to me. I really try to take a stance of it's not like how do you say like people should fight each other. I think we should try to understand each other. It should be like a more of a mellow thing, a peaceful thing. It's not about because I hated all the religious wars. I hate that. I mean, I've read about Confucius and Buddha and all, and I've Hinduism, and I just feel we should all just try to get along. And we have wars now, and even to this day, I hate that. But I've always felt there was something more. And here's the thing he said. I'm sorry, I got off topic. So he was saying when people say, "What is God?" and I guess they say, I mean, I'm sure you've heard this theory, the argument, whatever you want to call it. Like in other words, you can't the five senses, right? Hearing, touch, smell, whatever. So we figure God's not there. But he said, but what it's like saying the music note of C, like let's say, or D or F or what is the color of it? He said, and he said, well, that's disingenuous because music has no color. So he was saying you can't describe God in terms of a physical sense because he's not physical. Let's say he's energy, and so let's say the five senses can't sense it. Because like a music note doesn't have color, but you hear it. But I guess people don't believe in God because the five senses don't register. Uh, like
Well, it's
something
lack
to,
of evidence. Why believe in something that you don't have evidence? You can also
right,
you can measure like the frequency of a middle C, right? You
right,
can measure the sound waves.
right,
There's a lot of different ways that you can observe and measure music. Just because you can't observe it with one sense doesn't mean that it's completely unobservable or immeasurable. Um, so I don't know. It's not super useful to me. Like I do describe myself as an agnostic atheist, because I kind of do agree that if there is a God, we probably wouldn't be able to know about it. But that to me means that the God of the Bible is probably not real. Because if there is a God that we're not capable of observing, well, the God of the Bible claims to be observed many times. Uh, so that's kind of one of the
right.
reasons I don't believe in the biblical God specifically. But I don't say definitively that there is no God. I just don't have a belief in any particular God. Um,
Right.
that's what agnostic atheism is to me.
Right.
So I don't know. Having a version of God that is unobservable or has no agency to me, I don't really see what effect that would have on my life. You know, what about my life would need to change if that God is real? One that can't interact with us in any perceivable way and has no will of its own.
Well, would you say evidence, when atheists say in particular, evidence, would you say it's basically the five senses, that because we can't smell, touch, is that
I don't know. There are things that we can't necessarily see that can be picked up by equipment. So things that we ourselves cannot sense but can still be observed, like infrared. Um,
right?
so I don't think it's just the senses because we're capable of using equipment that can go beyond our own capabilities.
I guess that's interesting. I think thank you for bringing it up, because I think that was something I've definitely thought about and I kind of forgot right now. At one time, we didn't have machinery, probably for most of history, like you said, infrared, X-rays, gamma rays, whatever, or other
Yeah.
things we can't hear, see, touch. And so sometimes people could say then, oh, that doesn't exist because I can't myself touch it or feel it or hear it. So maybe, like, in other words, like, if you have a theory that right now the five senses, mostly we can't touch, feel, smell God, but we've also had that with many things, like you said, infrared,
Yeah,
maybe you could say
but
gamma.
once again, Phil, if this God is real, how does it change our lives whatsoever? If it's completely impossible to observe this God and we never have any interaction with it, how does that change our lives whatsoever?
Um,
Like
well, see, for me,
essentially, it's the exact same thing as not having a God. Because if it's impossible to ever have
right,
any sort of encounter or interaction with this God, it is the same thing as not having one.
right, I see your point. For me, I guess it's, you know what, I mean, and not to pivot, I don't know if this is, and I'm not even trying to, but for me, like the belief in reincarnation, I've just always had this strong feeling that I've been here before. That, like, for example, I've sometimes said to people, like, if there's a historical event, time period, country that you're just fascinated by, you don't know. Like for me, it was Japan. I've always loved Japanese culture. I'm not Japanese. Born in New York, Italian Irish, but I've always had deep, deep fascination with Japanese culture. And I know people could easily say, oh, well, that just comes from something. But for me, reincarnation explains that if let's say if I had a previous life in Japan, then I could easily be attracted to the culture, let's say. Not always, but so I mean, I know
I
people
would
could just
need
say,
there to be like evidence of a soul. Because I believe that
right,
like our consciousness is in our brain. When our brain stops working, our consciousness is gone. So I would need to be convinced that souls exist. Because obviously no one's like Frankensteining our brain into other bodies to bring us back to life. Um, so
one
I don't really believe in a soul.
Oh, okay. No, that's interesting. I remember it was actually my high school biology teacher, but he was saying once, like in ninth grade, I remember, teaching about how sugar becomes, well, glucose, or it just energy, that's the energy for our bodies, the whole process. And then he was just saying at one point, he was just saying, I forget how many times the human heart beats in a lifetime, usually 2 billion, 3 billion, I don't know, something. And he said to us in the class, he said, and he said, you could say, oh, it's the glucose and this, and the process that we know. But he's like, he basically said to us, he said, think about it, 2, 3, or I don't know the exact number, 2 billion, 2.5 billion, whatever it is, a huge number. He said, think about that. Where does all that energy come from? And he said, you could just say, oh, it's the glucose. But he said, that's just
Yeah, that's why
too
we have to.
much.
That's why we have to eat multiple times every
Right.
day. That's where that energy comes from.
But
That's explicitly where that energy comes from.
Well, yeah. Well, he was arguing that it
And I'm not sure
probably
you had a great biology teacher.
well, he was arguing that it probably takes even more energy that we don't even know of at this point. And maybe if he wanted to say it was a god or energy, but maybe it's something we don't understand fully in biology.
Yeah, again, I would say you probably didn't have a very good high school biology teacher. Sounds a little new agey. Yeah, the energy comes from us consuming calories, because calories give us energy.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I mean, I was always intrigued by near-death experiences too. How people who would come back, they said from the other side, they were able to tell the doctors or nurses or other people in the room about conversations. And I remember someone was, there was an atheist who was arguing with me. He said, if your eyes are closed, and he said, well, and I was saying, just to be technical, the ears are always open, but like, let's say, especially with vision, if the eyes are closed, you can't really see, but they would be able to tell, like, if something was moved in the room with their eyes closed or bandaged, maybe perhaps.
I'm not sure what this would really.
And like they were like, well, how did they know that? Like doctors were really amazed, and the nurses were really amazed. They would say, how did they know that? Unless they had a soul, and the soul left that whole story, that the soul left the body.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories. I haven't actually seen any like measurable evidence. There's a lot of stories about a lot of things. That doesn't make them true.
I sort of think of it. I remember reading years ago, like for rape cases with the NYPD or detectives, they usually say that people who lie, I mean, men and women can be raped. Oh, great, sorry, but it's usually like 3%. They say, and I've read that in different places, who lie. And so when thousands of people, I feel, tell something like, for example, extraterrestrials, many airline pilots especially, and military through many, many decades, and even throughout history with the hieroglyphics, with the Egyptians, they have like the UFOs.
Yeah,
I feel that when thousands of people say it, it can't be a lie, because many thousands of people.
It could be that they are mistaken, right? They might think that what they're saying is true. Again, they might think that what they're saying is true. That does not mean that it's accurate.
Well, I can't prove that they're wrong myself. I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't really prove.
Well, the burden would be for them for proving that they are right.
Well, if the for aliens, I mean, extraterrestrials, I mean, the spaceship, I mean, there have been some videos of UFOs, and it's hard
not
to
any
explain.
That are convincing.
Really? I've seen a few where they're zipping through.
Again, none that are convincing, but Phil, I don't know. I feel like we're very, very, very off topic here, because this is more about biblical critique.
I guess I was meaning about love. I mean, I believe the Bible is actually kind of stinky, because I just believe in the basics of every religion that says love thy neighbor. And
well, that's not you just believe in any religion that says that?
Well, no, I believe that's the ultimate rule. I believe this world would be like
you said that as if someone's like, join our religion, and you're like, I don't know, and they're like, it says love thy neighbor. You're like, sign me up.
Live it your own life. I mean, just do it. And I believe our world would be so much, obviously, so much better if we actually follow that. No, you don't have to. I believe you don't have to follow religion for that. I believe you just have that moral for yourself. But that's what I've wondered. Where does that moral come from? Why some people might have it, other people don't. And that's why I've wondered about really God, and if God is love, what we might call love, or an energy that gives grace and morals and love. And I've always wondered, like Socrates and Aristotle, I've always wondered about these things. Because I don't think we can really define love, really, like a chemical or part of the brain. I feel it's more complex than that. So I feel that might be God, or something of God, or what we might define as God.
Yeah, again, I think that's kind of defining the godhood out of God. So I am going to go ahead and let you go, Phil. Thank you for coming up. I hope you have a good rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty. Depends on who you count as your neighbor. I've got a cat back here. You guys want to see PJ? I'm gonna scoot back. I am in pajama shorts again. Hey, PJ Reach. Come here. Shoulder cat. Get your butthole out of it. It's PJ time. Let me lean back on the chair so she'll be more comfortable. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey. Oh, you gonna be stinky? Then you're gonna get picked up and wiggled. You guys see this little wiggle cat? She's a sleepy baby. She's very sweet, though. This is PJ, if you haven't met our little PJD Weege. She is a magnet cat. Oh yeah, she's a very standard issue cat, 3 pips. A lot of people are like, that looks just like my cat. Yep, standard issue cat. She's about 5 years old. She does not look like it. She looks like a baby, because she is a baby. Oh, she looked very offended by me saying that. But she is a screechy little baby. But how are we all doing this lovely Saturday night? It has been a hell of a week. I think most of you have probably heard me say this by now, but my partner, Rat Soup, who usually streams with me a couple times a week, got pretty hurt this week. Oh, thank you for the panther paws. Yep, I was just about to say, there's Rat Soup, whose arm hurts. Yeah, it was pretty gnarly, but hopefully it's gonna be all right, and he'll never insult me again. He took a fall. It was not nice. It was not a nice fall. So it's been a long week. But we're getting through it. We're getting through it. And we're gonna be having some Ram's ass again tomorrow at noon Eastern. I do realize that I've set the precedent now that I have to dress up each time. So I'm going to have to come up with what outfit I'm gonna wear. Oh boy. But I am so excited to be hosting Ram's Ass. For those of you who aren't familiar, it is Robot Goat's absolutely maniacal substitute for Atheist Sunday School, which is usually hosted by Mezzo, but I stole it from him because I'm a leech. I'm a parasite. Get a pharaoh costume. I'm not gonna Trisha Paytas this shit. Not gonna do that. No Easter for me, correct. But I'll still take some chocolates. You love Mezzo, Joel. You don't have to use your secret account in here. A diamond is a square circle. Woo! That guy he's still trying to defend himself in the comment section of that clip. And he's like commenting his own username on every comment that insults him. And I almost feel a little bit bad for it, but he does keep doubling down, and he posted on his story a picture of a square with rounded corners, and is like, see, I was right. So I don't feel as bad anymore. Mezzo and Joel are hot. Okay, well, Justin, you don't have to use your second account. If we didn't have the Bible, we would be easily persecuted by the Vatican. We'd have no weapon. What power would the Vatican have if we didn't have the Bible? Hey. Little PJ loves to yell. Oh, and now she's not doing it because she's mad at me. Are you gonna screech? Yeah, I knew you would, little creature. The Bible, or Bibble, sorry, makes great kindling. Interesting. Make sure to coordinate outfits with Joel and Mezzo this time. Last time it was by accident. If I do it again, they're gonna think it's intentional. They're gonna know that I'm reading their messages. Disney? Huh? Who's saying things about Disney? I do have I have a full Eliza Hamilton dress from the musical. I guess I could wear that. Oh, I have a full Veronica Mayday cosplay. That would be wild. I was streaming that. Hey, Olivia.
Hi there.
Hey, can I ask your age and pronouns?
I'm 26 and it's she, her.
All right, and are you a Christian?
So I am religious, but I wouldn't specifically put myself in a section of religion. I just believe there's God. I believe there's a higher power.
Do you follow the teachings of Jesus?
I would say so, yeah. I've lived quite a...
Can we get Sadak Macbiftaj in chat? Yeah, so I hear that a lot, typically from people who just don't want to identify with the label of Christian. So do you believe that Jesus is any sort of, like, God or Messiah?
I believe that he is... Like, I believe that there is God's... that every God is actually... You know, all the ones you hear about, I believe they're all real, in some sense. They're all, like... And everyone fighting over who's the right God. I feel like the main one is Jesus, and that comes up a lot. But I just feel like religion is a way for everyone to be upset at each other. It is a way for everyone to be fighting. But I was just wondering, right? With you being, obviously, I'm guessing you're not religious.
Correct.
Could I ask, like, because I'm just quite intrigued to know, like, what made you think, like, I don't believe in religion? Was there a specific point for you where you were like, you know, I don't believe in God, like, this is something
Yeah, well,
that
I was religious for a very long time. I was raised Christian. And then I started more critically examining the things that I was being taught and realized that they didn't hold up to scrutiny.
Okay, and what kind of things were they? Like, would you say with, like, I know it's quite a sensitive topic because I don't know you personally, but would you say family as well, like with family dynamics? Because, like, I was on a talk with someone else and I was saying how my family is not actually religious. So my mum, I wasn't raised
Well,
in
mine
a...
still is.
Right, I see. So you've came away from a family that was religious, and
Yep.
you've just sort of, like, that's it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
if I don't
easy
believe in
for,
it anymore, why continue to follow a religion that I don't believe is true? Just to appease my family? Then that doesn't really make sense.
would you say it goes the other way as well? Like, say your family was not religious and you believed there was a higher power, would you feel there'd be a right to, like, turn away from them? Like,
It's
what's your
not
thought?
turning away from my family, it's just having a different belief than them. It's not turning away from them. You're allowed to have different beliefs than your family. I still talk to my family, I still get along with my family. We just
Okay.
have different opinions about religion.
Because, like, for me, it's quite the opposite. Like, with my family, if I'm talking about religion, it's not a very good thing. Like, it's not really a talking point in my household. And
Well, we don't talk about it that
yeah.
much, but that's because, see, when I have these conversations on here, it's with people who consent to talk about religion and want to debate or defend their beliefs. If my family doesn't want to do that, I'm not going to force them to do that.
Yeah. No, I understand that. So I was just wondering, like, if you had to, like, sort of divide from them completely, because I know in a lot of families, if you're not like some people can be like outcasted or whatever if they have different beliefs. And I just wanted to know your take on it, because I've had like kind of issues from the opposite side of the spectrum, where I believe in God but my family isn't really like believers, you know.
I would
So
say believe
yeah.
what you want, practice what makes you feel safe. If you are in a situation where you would be like financially or socially impacted to believe differently from your family, then make sure you're doing what would keep you safe.
Yeah, that's really good advice, and you seem really chill as well. So like, thank you for. I know I didn't really go into much detail, but also one last thing, like since I know it's not really related, but I think my judgment on God was tested when the whole Epstein file thing came out, with all like Jeffrey and all this stuff that's came about the island and all the evil stuff that's been going on.
Avoid
It's
saying
like,
his name if you could, please.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
It's all right. I understand. I know what you mean.
I just like my faith was tested greatly when I seen things like that, because I think to myself, like, how can these things happen when God's watching, and if there is a hell or heaven, when is that going to happen? And I've had up and down beliefs my whole life, but what I can say for sure is that I do believe there's a higher power, and I have been saved before in ways that it would be quite interesting if I told you, and it's quite unbelievable, but I've had like life or death situations, so I know there is a higher power, whatever that may be. Like, I can tell you that I do believe there's something that's protecting us all, and maybe it's just on our heads or whatever, but yeah. But I honestly have a lot of respect for people that don't believe in these things, because as I was saying on the last panel, like, if you can carry yourself without believing in anything, like, that's a very brave person, because you've not got anything to believe in. You're just going ahead with your life, and you're just taking every challenge as it comes. And you seem to be really managing well. Like, you seem like a lovely person. You've got your cat there, and you're beautiful, and you've got a nice aura. So the end of the day. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on the panel. Anyways, I know I wasn't like talking too much about the prompt or whatever, but thank you.
That's all right. Thank you for coming up. You have a good one.
You too.
Hello, hello. We've got a nice cozy PJ. I don't know if you can hear, but she is purring. She's quite a cozy cat. That seems like a person who has a good heart and will hopefully look into her beliefs a little bit more. Didn't really seem like the sort of thing where she wanted a discussion. And again, I'm not going to force people into that if they aren't comfortable doing that, or if that's not what they're looking for. PJ is a very cuddly baby, as you can see. She always wants to be given attention. So if we are home, we better be looking at her, petting her, allowing her to sit on us. She's very small. A lot of the time, I'll just wake up and she will be on me in the morning. She'll be just laying on my chest. I can see she does kind of look like a smaller version of Xena. Thank you, Stu. Very kind of you to say. Sounds like my wife. Am I warm? I don't know if you guys are aware, but there was an experiment done with monkeys where they took very young monkeys and they constructed like two fake mothers, and one of the fake mothers dispensed food and the other gave like warmth and comfort, and pretty much every single time they opted for the mother that provided comfort over the one that provided food. Just a fun little thing. Sweet cozy baby. I will say, PJ I adopted a couple months after we got Dewey. And what initially drew me to her was that she looked so much like my senior cat that had just passed away, Penny. That's kind of how she gets her name, PJ. It's after 2 previous cats I've had, Penny and Jenny. So technically her name is Penny Jenny. Even Rat Soup was like, oh, I didn't even know it stood for anything. I thought her name was just PJ. Because I adopted both PJ and Dewey before he moved down here and moved in with us. If evolution is real, how come the cat doesn't birth a dragon and then you could ride the dragon? You know what? You're so right. You just completely dismantled my worldview about evolution. I can't believe this whole time I've been so wrong. You named your houseplants after Benny and the Jets. Incredible. Are you comfy? She just stuck her arm between my stomach and my arm. She gotta get that stretch. Do you want to get... Okay. I'm gonna move you a little bit because you're getting heavy. I know, baby. She is a little snuggle monster. She is very cute. She always starts play fights that she can't win.
Oh yeah.
Am I Dean's sister? No. Hi, sweetie. She makes it very hard to leave in the morning sometimes. Neely, if you joined the Deconstruction Junction Discord server, you can find the link online or in like Joel or Mezzo's bios, I think. You can join that Discord. They have resources for people who need them. JJ says, I love that cat. Me too. I love my Peejity Weege. I think she likes me okay. Mwah. Oh, big yawn. Okay, you're just gonna... Cool. You know, people have always told me that, like, male cats are more affectionate, but, like, look at this thing. Cat pet that dog! Cat pet that dog! Stu asks if I have full debates up on YouTube. I do! Mwah. I've begun posting all of my VODs to YouTube. The channel name is just Robot Goat with all the vowels removed. So it's RBTGT. I will be posting this one on there as well. I'm trying to post all of them that I can. Sometimes that means having to do multiple in a day. So I'm making thumbnails as quick as I can. But yeah, if you want to listen on there, I've already got, I think, like 5 of them up. And my partner, Rat Soup, has one up there as well, and we'll have more up there once he's back to streaming. Do cats like when you grab them behind their neck? Grabbing and lifting them, not necessarily. When they're kittens, it's a way that they're commonly transported around, but when they're older, it's less comfortable. Some of them like being, like, massaged back there, though. Depends on the cat. Hey, what are you doing? She just went and sat by the door and just looked at me. Stinky little creature. Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Oh, she's mauling me. My hand, it's torn to shreds. Ah! It's a little bit quiet here. Unfortunately, I don't play instruments, so I can't do like a little, you know, a funky little sting to move the time along while we wait for guests. But I love reading y'all's comments. Cats are entirely individuals and very much about consent. Yeah. Cats, you gotta respect their boundaries and their preferences, or they will not like you. And I think that's fair. I've never actually had a dog before. I've worked in a dog daycare before, but I have not myself owned a dog. Close family has, and I've gotten close to those dogs, but only had cats myself. What time is top of the hour around here? In a few years when I get piano lessons. Does PJ know diamonds or square circles? We haven't gotten to teaching her shapes yet. We're still on letters and numbers, but she'll get there. How about this? Can we get ones in chat if you're a cat person, 2 if you're a dog person? And don't worry, PJ will not take offense. Okay. Mixed reviews. 3 for both? No, you have to choose. I'm instituting a dichotomy. Can't be indecisive bitches now. Hey, sweet pea. Oh, some ASMR courtesy of PJ. That was a pretty even distribution. You know, I know there is a poll feature on here. Am I able to do? Yes. Okay. This feels like a trap. So, smiley face is gonna be dog person, frowny face cat person. Because cats are frownier. They just are. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, I can use this as a kick poll from now on. That's good to know. Okay, more dog people so far. Oh, it's even again. Oh my goodness. We're really divided on this. Huh. Oh, dogs pulled ahead. Dogs are ahead by 1. If we've got any other cat people in here. Dogs can't knead and you like to make a lot of bread. Cats are great at making biscuits. So it's smiley face for dog person, it's the frowny face for cat person. Okay. Ooh, and right down at the wire. All right. So we've got, yep, cat person wins 17-15. That was close. That's really close. All right, thank you guys for letting me test that setting. Now I'll be able to do like a vote kick thing with annoying guests. So I'll be able to do like a smile for keep, frown for kick. That'll be helpful. No, you guys all voted. We're not doing a revote now. You made your bed, now lie in it. You're gonna regret your choice if you got it wrong for the rest of your days, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope you think about this when you're lying in bed at night, 8 years from now, and I hope you break out in a cold sweat. Anyway, thanks for the likes. Let's see where we're at on our follower goal. Oh, don't like that percentage. Can we get it up to 89, please? Okay, if I could get some people to follow, simply to change the percentage, I'd appreciate that. But oh my god, wow, 5280 already. That's fucking insane, guys. We just celebrated 5K last week. Or was it? It was this week! Fuck! It's been a long week. You can unfollow? Thanks. That's how you know you're a friend. That's your birth year, ordinary heathen? Well, be careful not to use it at the end of usernames. Hey, Bless No Somos? It's not even close to being the #1 video on my profile. I have a pinned video that has more views. I think both of my pinned videos might have more views. I have one that has like 40k views. I have one that has like 25k views. So it's not even, it might be like my 5th or 6th most. I don't know. 88 is a Yahtzee dog whistle because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet, so they use it in place of HH. Yeah, we really can't have anything, can we? You have a video that got 1.9 million. Holy shit! Even on my old account, I never had one that got that many. I think my best was like 600K, and it was one video that just happened to go insanely viral. And it didn't even have anything to do with like debates, politics, religion, or anything. It was just me pranking my school. Your birthday's on the 14th! Oh no! Oh no! That's unfortunate if true. Oh, we've got 2 guest requests that came in at pretty much the same time. Hey, can I get your name, age, and pronouns? Alright, have a good one. Okay, they dropped down. Great. That was quick. 2 people at once and neither of them actually wanted to come up. Happens sometimes, I guess. PJ, why are you just looking at me? Come here. If you're gonna be weird, come here. Okay. Aw, thank you, Anti-Theist. You had 100K followers on Google+? I didn't even know there were that many users on Google+. Hi. God forbid a cat wants to stare. It's ominous! I feel like she's plotting my inevitable demise. She might be. Em, you can request back up if you want to. I am an atheist. I'm an agnostic atheist. And PJ is a cat. The slow blink means that I know that I do like the slow blink, but this was just like a... Which was a little unnerving. To those who are watching, they probably also felt unnerved, but to those who are listening, you might just be slightly confused. I used my patented creepy blue eye stare. PJ's just walking in circles around the desk now. She really is just running laps to cause chaos. She says she doesn't want me to talk to chat or the Christians. You wish your nerves were und. Oh, babe. Hi. She will sometimes try to eat my hair as well, so I do have to prevent that as much as I can. Because she's a baby. She's a weird little baby. Our cats are bizarre. Dewey is obsessed with arugula. Dewey is obsessed with ice. PJ is obsessed with burrowing anywhere that she can. We'll come out in the morning and the couch cushions will be all over the floor because she tried to dig into the couch. She's a little burrow cat. Isn't that right, little burrow cat? Boop. Her best defense mechanism is also turning upside down. Oh, and climbing into my underwear drawer. She does that too. She opens it up with her body weight and then crawls inside. Yeah, Dewey's into the hard stuff. She's got arugula, so she's got that herb, and she's into ice. Which isn't allowed in our house, because in our house, fuck ice. Isn't that white? Little kitty cat. I'm hoping that I will see most, if not all of you, at Ramsass tomorrow. Right? Right? We're all coming to Ramsass. We're coming to Ramsass tomorrow. Noon Eastern time. Right? I'm gonna do another poll. And if you guys say you're not, I'm gonna cry. I've learned that I can do this now. If you're not coming, just don't tell me, so the results will show that everyone is coming. I want everyone in here to be coming. That's my goal for the stream. That's what I desire most. Man, a lot of y'all are coming. Yeah, so just to reiterate, we're hitting the smiling face if you're coming. Yep, alright, we got someone else coming. Someone else coming. Someone's not coming. We gotta fix that. Hey, Vig, what the fuck is wrong with you? 18 people coming, holy shit. That's crazy. Wow. 18 people are coming! Thank you guys. Oh, someone's coming extra. That's a lot of jizz. That's enough to fill up a bell. Give us a proper jizzabell. Miko, I'm gonna be on high alert this time, Meeks. I'm gonna try hard to not let you get me this time. So I know you're gonna just try even harder to make sure that you do. But that's okay. I find that for myself, the best way to approach a battle of wits is unarmed. Unlike Rat Soup, who's just temporarily unarmed. Sorry, babe. It was funny, though. Hey. Let's see. I would approach a battle with no arms, just a flesh wound. So I'm gonna send us over somewhere because we are approaching the end of the stream now. I want to make sure that I'm sending us to the right place. Okay, so we are going to go over to my friend Jen. Jen's username is going to be spelled JENN.ATL3. Okay? I'm going to say it again. We're going to go over to JENN.ATL.3, and I will put it in chat as well. Da-da-da-da. Copy it if you need to. We're going to go over there and raid. Tell her that I sent ya. I'll see you guys over there, and I will see you tomorrow morning at noon Eastern for Ramsass. And y'all better be there, because y'all told me you were coming, and it's a lie if you don't. And lying about coming is worse than not coming at all. Okay, good night.